Gents, we are here today. I thought this would be a little bit of a more interesting video. Um, because let me just do something real quick. Sorry, I should have had this done already. This is my bad. This is my bad. But I wanted to, get this out of the way. I think it's an interesting video to give everyone a look at how their season is going and who needs to step it up and uh who needs to keep doing what they're doing. So we're here. This is since we're already over halfway through the season. Um, there's only 3 weeks left. There's this week, next week, so week 6, week 7, week 8, and week 9. Yeah, so we're halfway. I mean, week 5 was the halfway point, so we're halfway. Still, don't get me wrong, still a lot of time for everyone to do better or worse. But I think since we are over that cusp of the halfway point, I think it's important to highlight where each team stands at the moment. So yeah, we're gonna be going over that. As of right now, me and JC are tied for first. So there's that. How we would do so normally, how you do it in any other league is you would have differential, but for some godforsaken reason we don't have that here. I hope that we can change that going into next season. But yeah, we don't have differential, so there's no way to distinguish if me or JC would be first seed, which is actually pretty important. So yeah, I'm disappointed that we don't have differential, but that's people didn't want it, so whatever. So just looking at it, I'll just put myself in second seed, I guess. So JC's first seed, I'm second seed, and then Tanner, Emnez, Woo, and Chase would be the playoff teams. Now, the only thing separate, like Chris, B, and Preston all tied in last, but they're only 2 and 6. Or no, would they be 2 and 8 or 2 and? No, they're 3, right? Let me see. Rankings. Okay, so B and Chris are tied in last at 2 and 8. But the only thing separating them from playoffs is like 2 wins. So don't get me wrong, the playoff race is still very, very real. This is just what it would be if we went into playoffs right now. Like I said, halfway point in the season, just want to highlight who would be making playoffs. That way, some coaches get a little fire under them to start doing better. Some coaches realize that, oh shit, I'm on the cusp of making it and not making it. I really got to step up my game. So, yeah. So if we were to do playoffs right now, I guess I'll just concede first seed to JC. So JC would be first seed, and he would play the winner of Wu versus Emnes. And that set was extremely close. Really just a great set. A great set. So, and then JC playing the winner of that, we'll have to see. Definitely a good game. And me, I would play the winner of Chase and the Battle of the Brothers. Chase and Tanner. And Chase won that game. Would Tanner lose 2 games to Chase? We don't know. Obviously, they have the rematch, so we'll have to see how the rematch goes. But as their third potential game of the season, that would be interesting. Because if Chase goes up 2-0 against Tanner, Tanner's going to be really struggling. But if Tanner manages to get the comeback, then it gives Chase a reason to come back and see what sets he adapts to. So it's going to be interesting. That set is really the the quarterfinal round of the playoffs, whatever you want to call it, wild card, quarterfinal, whatever. That's going to be a crazy round. If it stays like this. And then I'd play the winner of either Chase or Tanner. And then obviously the winner of those semis goes to finals and stuff like that. But The bracket right now is looking very, very threatening and very interesting. Now, again, a lot of teams can drop down and a lot of teams can rise up. For example, one team that's been on the come up recently is Preston. He was 0-5 or 0-6. He's now 3-7. He's really making a late season playoff run. So honestly, I could see Chase falling down and Preston catching up. Because Chase has been like winning one and losing one, and then he had that one week where he went 0-2. That's why he's 4-6 now. So Chase is consistent, but Preston, he was very not doing well in the beginning, and now he's starting to do really well. So if he keeps that momentum going, Chase or Wu could really fall down. But for top four, in my opinion, I think this top four is on lock. I think the first three seeds or four. I think top four can kind of like go wherever. I think Mnez could definitely suck a 3 or 2 seed depending on how my and Tanner season goes. Same with JC. Same with everything else. I think anyone can climb or drop in the top four depending on it. But I think this solid top four is who you're going to be seeing in playoffs no matter what. Unless one of me, Tanner, JC, or Mnez really fucks up the second half. I think this top four is on lock. Again, crazy things can happen, but I think that top four is on lock. But those last 2 seeds is where it's very crucial. It really comes down to who can really shine in these in this late season run. I know Chris Ash Ketchum's. He said he's gonna have a very good run in the second half, so I'm excited to see what he can do. Sorry about that. I know Tabs. He's very adamant in getting into playoffs, so I'll have to see. B, new, but he is picking up wins. So if he makes playoffs, I think that's a very encouraging thing for him. Because again, first season came in halfway through at an 0-4 record. I mean, technically his record is 2-4, so that's something to look forward to. But yeah, B, keep your head up. I mean, if you make playoffs, I'll be very proud. But if you don't, B season is of no expectation. So if he makes playoffs, that's just a statement saying I'm the GOAT. If he doesn't make playoffs, it's like no one expected you anyway. So it's like, not to be condescending, but like it's a no pressure season for B is what I'm trying to say. Whether he performs well or bad, it's all good. It's all good. Chris, definitely would be unfortunate if he doesn't make it, but I think he has a team that he can make a late season playoff run. He just traded away Ludi for Gastrodon, so maybe that helps glue his team together a little bit more. So we'll have to see. Those are both his free agency trades now, because he dropped something for Shiinotic. He dropped Carbink for Shiinotic, so his roster is essentially on lock unless someone wants one of his Pokemon. Breloom Bambinos. Tabs has a good team, just executes it poorly. I know that can sound a bit harsh, but I really do think Tabs probably has one of the most threatening teams in the league. But really just struggles to get his feet on the ground during the sets. Last week was pretty rough. Brought some funky sets, didn't work. But I really think I really think if Tabs can get his head in the game, gets a little bit better prep in, and really just focus on executing that plan in his games, I definitely can see him taking a 5 or a 6 seed going into playoffs. And Preston, like I said, I genuinely think he can make playoffs. Out of the 4 teams that aren't making it, I think Preston probably has the best chance of making playoffs. I mean, we can just go right to the sheets. But Scizor, like 2 weeks ago, had like single-digit kills. I think he had like 5 or 8, like in that 5 to 9 range. Now is leading the league with 39 kills halfway through. Mega Scizor is potentially on the road to getting a triple-digit kill season. Now, I know that can sound a little bit crazy, but it's possible. It's possible. And if he does get a triple kill season. That's gonna be crazy. Uh, if he keeps the steam engine going the way it is, I think he'll cover around like high 60s, low 70s, which is still nuts. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think Scissor will get to the triple-digit mark. But definitely crazy that it's. We all thought Charizard was gonna lead it the whole season, but Charizard the past like 2 or 3 weeks has only gotten like 1 or 2 kills, and Mega Scizor Stonks has been on the rise. So definitely excited to see that. Um, and yeah, I think Preston. You look at a couple of his Pokemon, hasn't been utilizing Zoroark that well. Hasn't been utilizing Salazzle or Goodra well at all either. Uh, Even Scizor to an extent has 20 deaths, which I don't really know how that happens. But yeah. I think if he just uses Goodra better and has a little bit better prep, I think his prep recently has been great. Don't get me wrong, I think it's been great. That's why he's been winning a lot. I think if he just understands how to use Goodra more and really focuses on his team, he still has a free agency move. Teams that still have free agency moves is the last minute Linoons. They still have 2, as you can see. Beedrill Bandits still have all their free agency moves and player trades. And the Conkelders and Preston have 1 more free agency move. So definitely late season roster swaps is probably going to be likely. Especially for the Conkelders and the Beedrill Bandits. Bandits been struggling from hazards recently. They only have Claydol and Aerodactyl, not the most reliable hazard removers. And Conkelders, they dropped Manaphy for Serp, which is like, I get it, but I don't like. Yeah, Serperior gives you more speed and more initial just nuke damage because of the contrary Leaf Storm. But Manaphy gives you more versatility because you can run it Scarf, you can run it Life Orb, you can run it Expert Belt, you can run it Leftovers, you can run it Mystic Water, you can run bulk investment with just. You can run no investment into your special attack with just Tail Glow and you can still sweep. You can do rest sets in the rain. You can do all sorts of things. You can run anti-stall with like stall you with Toxic Protect. Like you can do it with I think Manaphy was definitely better. Again, Serp just gives more offensive pressure. His team really struggles from fire types now. His team is more reliant on ever to Goodra, not more than ever, and Politoed. That's kind of tough, but like I said, I think if he learns how to use Goodra better and understands that Scizor in the rain isn't unkillable, it can still be killed. It's just a little slower. If he understands Scizor's still weak in the rain, and if he understands Goodra's job more, I think Preston definitely makes playoffs. So personally, I think, like I said, I think this top 4 right here, the Queen City Quaxies, me, Tanner, and MS, I think this top 4 is on lock. I don't anticipate these 4. They might move even lower to 5 or 6 seed. I don't even see that happening, but I do anticipate seeing these top 4 teams making playoffs no matter what. That's just how I see it. Now, for these bottom 2 seeds, it's very interesting. Because you have a team like the Conkelders who are on the come up, definitely threatening to the Daddy Diglets or the Hartsville Hitmontops. You have a team like the Ash Ketchums that, while they're tied in last, have a very threatening team, and Chris wants to make playoffs. He said he'll make a very good second half run, so I'm excited to see if that's true or not. B, who's been surprising a lot of people in how he just plays the game. A lot of great predictions come out of him every set. I think most of his games go to a game 3, so definitely no slouch from B. And Tabs, he has the pieces. It's just a matter of connecting them. Preston kind of had the same thing, but Tabs had a better early half of the season, and now he's on like a slump. Preston had a massive slump coming out of season 1 because he didn't get a win there either. So he had a slump all last season, had a slump all the beginning of this half, but now he's on the come up. So while Preston's So it was like Tabs is here, Preston's here, and now it's like at that intersection point, and they're equal. They're both 3-7. So depending on how this intersection goes, where they meet up, will be exciting to see. Really, Daddy Diglets and Hitmontops, I could see them make. I could see this being the top 6 coming out of the last week. But again, I think any team can make playoffs. Genuinely, I know that sounds kind of cringe, but the way that teams have been playing, it really just like most of these games are coming down to like a couple turns. That's saying a lot. So yeah, just want to make this video. Just wanted to highlight the top 6 in the midseason and who you should be looking out for as your potential playoff competitors and who you should be looking out for in the playoff seeding. Because seeding is actually extremely important. That's why I'm very disappointed that we don't have differential. Definitely something that I'm very very adamant for. I'm very adamant. I'm a very big advocate for it, I should say. Differential is very important because you don't think about it all season, but when it comes to playoffs, like it matters a lot. Because getting number 1 seed means you play lower seeded teams, which is pretty important. And getting the number 2 seed means you can potentially play someone that's yeah, there could be an upset and the 6 beats the 3, but most of the time the 3 is going to beat the 6, so you have a closer semis. Again, call me a little bitch. I don't care. Seeding's very important. That's why I think we should have differential. Definitely something to look forward to next season. But again, I'm gonna stop bitching. This is your playoff picture as of mid-season. Please, I'm excited for the second half. I want to see some upsets. I want to see some great games. Let's keep it up, boys. I'll see you next time.